Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and once again, a huge warning, a huge alert to everybody. This is serious, and this is something you have to really take the time to do if you want to make sure you're safe. Once again, it has to do with an info stealer malware that has stolen over 184 million account credentials. That's username, passwords, out in the open. And that was in a file, a 47 gigabyte file that has since been removed. So we're not sure exactly who had access to it. We're not sure exactly how much danger there is in what's there, and who has had the time to download and access all of this. But one thing for sure is that a couple of security experts have gone through the data. We know that more than 220 companies and organizations are affected with accounts that have been stolen. Which means if you don't have two-factor authentication, first of all, it's you change your password and do it. Especially if it's something that you could lose money with. And somebody asked me, can you mention some of the accounts that were found, some companies or websites? So I've got some of them here that I am going to share with you guys. Netflix. You got a Netflix account? I think it's safe to say just change that password. Netflix accounts and usernames and passwords have been found in the database. Facebook accounts have been found. Username and passwords of Facebook accounts also, which means that they could take over your account, and you might think it's not important, but once they do, you might find that it is, especially since they can try to, steal money from friends and family. Google accounts of all kinds, so Gmail or YouTube accounts, things like that are in there. Anything that you use a Google account could be in there. Many usernames and passwords of Google accounts are in the database, and so this is important to know. Apple accounts, they have found some Apple accounts, which means if you have an Apple account and use that, and of course, a lot of things can be done if somebody takes over your Apple account. Make sure that you change your password. Once again, usernames and passwords out in the clear have been found that are for Apple accounts. PayPal, that's even more important. If you use a PayPal account, time to really update that password, especially if you don't have two-factor authentication. I do have two-factor authentication, which protects me, but this is crazy because this means that people could do transactions, steal money from your bank account. And so some PayPal usernames and passwords are in there. Microsoft accounts of all kinds, so depending on where you use a Microsoft account, be it for Windows, be it for other things like Outlook accounts for email, and so on, there's been a lot of usernames and passwords from Microsoft accounts in there. And Amazon accounts also have been found. If you're a Prime member, if you're an Amazon member, they might have stolen some of that information too. Banks, many banks with usernames and passwords have been found in that 184 million listing. So if you do online banking, it's safe to say that maybe it's a good idea to change the passwords. Always make sure you use two-factor authentication. This is important. Now you might ask, how did these guys get this? Is it a data breach from the websites themselves? No. It all has to do with the way that information is exchanged around the internet And unfortunately, a lot of the pipelines, a lot of the places that things happen have this way of not being encrypted or not being secure. So the info stealer gets all of that from places where there's a flaw, where you can actually detect and seek some of that information. So it's not a data breach per se for the companies themselves necessarily. And like I said, more than 220 different organizations, websites, companies, credentials in there. This is massive. This is massive and affects everyone. So my word to you is do what I actually took almost 2 hours to do today. Modify all of my passwords with new ones on all of these accounts that I use, and you should do the same. It's a very, very important thing to do because this is very serious. And it's even more serious because we don't know who had access to this file. We have no idea. But it's safe to say that there must be some bad guys out there that actually got their hands on it before it was removed from the internet. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.